What's going on, guys? Right here I have a lot of $20 bills. Now, why am I holding a lot of $20 bills in my hand? Well, the answer to that is what we're going to be talking about in this video. So, as you guys may know, I have close to 4,500 subscribers at the time I'm making this video on YouTube, and I get a lot of personal messages on Instagram, on Facebook, on my Facebook fan page, ironically, because I rarely check my Facebook fan page messages. I check my actual Facebook messages. But Instagram, Facebook, and even YouTube comments of guys like saying, Patrick, how do you earn a living? Or do you get discouraged because you only have 4,500 subscribers on YouTube? And here's the thing, my man. I don't. I really don't. I love my life. Now, here's what a lot of you guys might not know, because there's probably some of you who are rather new to raw dating advice, but here's what you should know about me. I'm a dating coach now. I do this full time. This is how I earn a living on, just the internet. But I wasn't always a dating coach. I used to actually be a dental student. I was in dental school. And before that, I was a college student trying to go to medical school, right? And so I got into dental school because I didn't want to do medical school. And when I got into dental school, I worked so hard to get there that when I got there, I was still doing well. I had good grades, but I realized that I was like, damn, I worked my whole life to get to this point right now, and this is it? This is what I work so hard to do, so I could be in a class full of 150 normal people who are just leading normal lives, who just have a passion for teeth. I was like, wow. So I was kind of underwhelmed by dental school and the future that I saw for myself, because here's the thing, when you get into dental school or medical school, you know how the next 40 to 50 years of your life are going to play out, right? For me, I didn't like that. I didn't like the just like, I already knew what the next 50 years of my life were going to look like. That took the zest out of life. It made life predictable. It made life boring. So I looked for other ways to kind of overcome that predictability and monotonousness of dental school. So I started getting really into dating advice. At the time, I was really taking action on a lot of this stuff myself, but I started getting really good at it to the point where my dental student friends, right, people in my class would ask me what I was doing to get the girls, the success that I had, and even people that I met out would ask me, how do you like do what you do? So I started asking them, like, I was like, yo, would you actually be interested in paying me for some coaching to teach you everything I do? Because it was very systematic. I'm not a natural at this stuff. I had to learn this stuff. So that's kind of what made me a dental coach and how I got into this stuff. But to answer all the questions from guys who message me or email me or write comments on my YouTube, like, dude, like, how do you make money? Is this your full-time job? Like, how, like, do you get discouraged that you only have 45,000 or 4,500 subscribers? I'm like, no, dude, I'm doing well. And here's the thing. YouTube is only about 10% of what I do on a day-to-day basis. As you can see, I'm wearing a fucking pullover hoodie. I'm wearing a hat because I didn't want to do my hair today, right? This is my everyday. I wake up when I want to. I write some content, write an email to my email list, which is how I make money, my email list. And then at the end of the day, after I've done everything that I need to do with my personal coaching clients who pay me higher dollar just to get FaceTime, with my other clients who I work with via email or via the internet and Skype, and for other people who are buying my products on my email list, right? After I do all of that, that's when I finally prop up a camera, turn on my lighting. I don't know if you know this, but I have all these lights just so I can, light up my cameras. Right now, I'm not using any of them. I'm using this natural light from outside. And yeah, man, I do YouTube after I've done all that stuff. So YouTube, don't pay attention to the numbers on YouTube. That's literally 10% of what I do. Now, is it a good source of like new traffic? Like guys who've never heard of me now know my stuff and see my advice and can watch my videos as long as they want? Yeah, of course. YouTube is great for that reason, and that's why I do it. That's why I dedicate time to it. But just know that I make money doing coaching, I make money selling products, and I make money doing what I love every single day. I don't have the predictability of like knowing that I'm gonna be sitting in a fucking chair looking into people's mouths every day for the next 50 years, and I love it, dude. I love what I do. It's what I'm passionate about. Fucking button on my phone and start answering questions and making content for you guys. So What I really want to do in this live stream or even in the comment section for guys who watch the replay is if you have any questions about online, making money online or the business side of raw dating advice, let me know. I'd be happy to answer any of those questions as long as they're not like, dude, how much money specifically do you make every single day? Because like I said, this is like, it's new day to day. Every single day is something different. I'm always trying to give myself a raise every single day. That's kind of the mentality. So I've never really set out to talk about online marketing or making money online, but it seems like I get a lot of questions, comments, and messages about it. So if you guys want to know, now is your chance. Leave some comments on this video or on the replay of this video, and I'll answer them in the fucking in the comment section or even live if you happen to get on this video live. But that said, let me know. What do you guys want to know about how Patrick James sets up his coaching business, or how Patrick James makes money on his email list, or kind of products that I offer? That's your time, because I get a lot of questions and concerns and messages about like, Patrick, how do you make money? Is this your full-time job? Do you feel discouraged that you only have 4,500 subscribers? And to rehash on this, no, I don't, dude. I love every single one of my subscribers of Raw Dating Advice. And let's just put this into context here, right? I was just at an event in San Diego, California. It was an online marketing event. It's called Traffic and Conversion Summit. There's people like Ty Lopez there, if you know who that is. Brandon Carter, big fitness guy, right? All these top name people who you probably know and see every single day on YouTube or on these ads, right? They were all there. That event had about 4,000 people at it. Okay, that event had 4,000 people. I have more subscribers than people that were at that event. But while the event was going on, every restaurant was just packed, right? You couldn't get a coffee without waiting in line for a fucking hour. And I was bumping into people just walking down a hallway. And that's 4,000 people in one hotel. Now, let's just put that in perspective. That many people subscribe to Raw Dating Advice. So do I get discouraged that 4,500 people subscribe to Raw Dating Advice? Hell no, because a lot of those people are on my email list. A lot of those people invest in my courses that range anywhere from, free. I got a free book here. A lot of people buy this book and then they like this book and then they buy my other higher dollar courses that are $200, $300, $500, $1,000. So that's how I make money online. That's how I offer value to my clients. And actually, like, I have a lot of people who pay for private coaching on top of that, which is a little bit more higher dollar than that. So to answer your guys' questions, no, I fucking love this stuff. I love my life. I love having a YouTube channel where I can hit a fucking button and send a message out, right? And here's the other thing that I think is funny, like, people equate people think that because I have a phone and I can press a button and reach thousands of people with a click of a button, with a tap of my thumb on the screen, they think that, you have all this life-changing information. And while that is true, some people fall into the trap of thinking, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, they think that, okay, I'm going to use this and just like make retarded content, right? But that said, I think Logan Paul and Jake Paul, they do it right. They got 16 million subscribers, I think, something like that. So yeah, influence. It's all about influence. It's all about how do you want to live your life. And yes, you can make money from a small audience, which I do every single day. But I don't want you guys to think that because I'm talking about money that I see people as a number. That's actually quite the opposite of what I'm trying to say here. I'm trying to say that I value every single person who hits that subscribe button to Raw Dating Advice, because I know that behind that person hitting the subscribe button, whether it's tapping their screen on their phone or clicking the mouse button on their computer, I know that that person is a person just like me, but they're just 10 steps behind me, 20 steps behind me. And that's why I'm so passionate about dating advice, because I was there too. I used to suck with girls. I used to be the kind of guy who got friend zoned all the time. And once I worked every single day at it and got so good at it that other people were willing to pay me for my knowledge, that's when this kind of blossomed into a business. So I know that for every person who watches these videos, for every person who hits that subscribe button, that's another life that could potentially be changed. And not necessarily changed by that one video that they watched of me, or be changed at that one video that, you know, the multiple videos that they watch on my channel. But just maybe for me, it was a mindset switch. When I found dating advice on the internet back in like what, 2012, it wasn't that one person's content that changed my life. It was what that content told me was possible for my life. And I understand that at a core level because I was there too. So that's why I value every single person who watches these videos. And just to give you some hindsight, some perspective, a little bit more on what we've already said, you don't have to have 1 million subscribers to make money on YouTube. And in fact, if you are trying to make a living on YouTube, meaning that like I monetize my videos, I put ads before my videos, if I'm using that as a means of paying for my rent and, you know, keeping a roof over my head, you're fucking up, right? The people who have 1 million subscribers but are broke, they're fucking up, right? I can monetize a 4,500 subscriber list very easily. And just to give you more perspective, one of my good friends, Bobby Rio and Rob Judge, these are two people who have a partnership, right? They have a dating business called TSB Magazine. I work a lot with them. I write posts on their website. I've contributed products to their product line, right? And they make millions of dollars every year. And guess how many YouTube subscribers they have? Just guess. I'll pause. They have 13,000 YouTube subscribers and they make millions of dollars every year. And that's because they do not rely on YouTube AdSense as their primary source of income. All right, so I'm able to keep a roof over my head. I'm able to travel the US to work with different clients I have. I'm able to travel anywhere I want with my current girlfriend and do things that people who have 9-to-5 jobs can't. So yeah, I love my job and I do this not by relying on the YouTube AdSense. I do it by, offering so much free value on my YouTube channel that they want to finally, invest in products that I sell on my email list. And what happens on my email list? Well, that all goes on behind the scenes. On my email list, I wake up every single morning, I put on a hat because I don't want to do my hair, and I put on a little thing because I don't want to, I'm not trying to look good when I'm writing. So what I do is I write an email where I answer questions just like I do on my YouTube channel. I answer questions, right? Someone emails me a question or leaves a comment on my YouTube video. That's where I'm answering those. I don't answer them a lot in videos unless the video is really good, So I'm answering 3 to 4 questions via my email list every single day. And then at the end, I go, dude, if you liked this content, I'm actually selling XYZ course at 50% off for this week only. So if you want to invest in this course while it's at a discounted price, then get it right now, right? And that's kind of my business. And so I have a lot of products. I have a book for free just in case you aren't sold on one of those products yet. So that's how I make money, and that's how I can travel and work with people in San Diego, anywhere, really, anywhere I want. I can wake up whenever I want and work with whoever I want. And conversely, I can see a person like hating in the comment section or doing whatever they want on my YouTube channel, and I just hit the block button because they're not making me money. I don't give a shit. And just if you're wondering how much money I make from YouTube, not shit, right? Everything goes on the email list. Whereas like that's where I'm delivering more free content, and that's where I offer my products. So yeah, that's how I make money, or that's how I make money as a dating coach. And so just to rehash this, I've never set out to be like a Gary Vaynerchuk or an online marketing guru, just because I don't consider myself the best at it by any means, not yet at least. But yeah, man, I just know that a lot of you guys wonder, like, how does Patrick make a living? Does he do YouTube full time? And the answer is yes and no. Like, I do YouTube technically full time, but it's 10% of what I do on a day-to-day basis. Most of the stuff goes on behind the scenes. All right. So let me know right now if you're watching this, or if you're watching the replay, like, comment, do you have any questions about specifics on how I do what I do? Like, what kind of products do I offer? I'll answer that question. Oh, and if you're wondering how much money I make from those ads I put in front of my videos, I think last month I made like $200. Like, it's not much, dude. And that just goes to show you can, if you're relying on that as a primary source of income, you're fucking up and you're missing out a lot. So let me know, like, do you have a YouTube channel of your own? Do you have aspirations of starting a YouTube channel, of starting an online business, of getting into this world? Let me know. Several of my private clients right now who pay me for dating advice, one-on-one Skype time, they're also interested in a lot of what I do as well online. And I'm kind of teaching that stuff to them, if they're interested in that stuff. But like I said, I'm not trying to be an online marketing guru. I just know that a lot of people wonder, like, Patrick, how do you make money? So that's why I started this live stream. But yeah, man, give me a thumbs up if you like this information. Let me know in the comments section if you'd like to see more videos of like how I make money. And just so you know, I have an idea that I've kind of been juggling around in my head, because I know that a small percentage of my guys who do follow my advice are interested in this stuff, just because I used to work a lot with Jason Capital, if you know who that is. I used to actually coach with him. I ran a private mastermind for guys on Facebook. He had a little Facebook group, a mastermind of guys who would pay every single month just to be a part of that group, right? Jason Capital paid me to run that group. So that's, just another behind the scenes thing of like what people are, how people are making money. Jason Capital literally set up a Facebook group, right? And he said, hey, if you want regular dating advice that's structured and you want a coach who's working with you directly or a small group of people directly, pay this fee every single month and you'll be a member of this group, right? I ran that group for a long time until we shut it down just because people stopped paying for it after about a year of doing it. So that's kind of like, that's another thing behind the scenes, like how we make money, how we monetize our businesses, right? And if you think about it, if you get 100 people paying $97 a month to be a part of this small group, right? Where people like me are coaching you, 100 times 100 is what? $10,000 every month. That's $10,000 of income that month just from a small group of 100 people, okay? So this is kind of how people like me, people like Jason Capital, people like Bobby Rio, Rob Judge, Marnie Kinneries, these are other dating coaches that I work with and collaborate with on a regular basis. That's how we kind of make our money. So I forgot what I was. Oh, here's my other idea. My idea was I'm thinking about starting a complimentary YouTube channel in addition to this one where, on this video, on this channel, I'm giving a lot of dating advice, right? But for the guys who are interested in seeing the business behind the scenes, my day-to-day life, I'm thinking of starting a YouTube channel where I vlog what I do every day and kind of the ins and outs of my business, and not only my business, but what I do for play, what I do for fun, that sort of thing, so that you guys can kind of get inspired by, my story and, be along for the ride in addition to just the YouTube dating advice as well. So let me know in the comment section or with a thumbs up, because I know the comments for the actual live stream don't show for the comments for the replay. So if you want to see that, just give me a thumbs up, and that'll kind of just be encouragement for me. Like, okay, people are interested in this kind of content. They want to see what Patrick James does behind the scenes. They want to see how Patrick James makes a business, a dating business. They want to see how I run my business and make a source of income and grow my business every single day. And if you're interested in that, if you're interested in seeing how much or how I make money, give me a thumbs up, and I'm gonna start that YouTube channel here soon, and then it'll complement everything I do as like a behind the scenes for this YouTube channel, if that makes sense. So yeah, man, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Like I said, I'm not trying to sell you anything about online marketing. I just know that a lot of guys either have questions about how I make money or questions about like what I do in addition to dating advice. I mean, literally this is all I do. And then they also question like, how can they do that for themselves? All right. So I'm not trying to sell you a program on making money or running Facebook ads or something like that. This is just something I like to do, and it seems like you guys are interested in it. So I wanted to engage in conversation with you over YouTube Live. So that said, a couple of announcements. Patrick, is YouTube where you get most of your traffic to your email list / website from? Great question. Anthony, yo, love this question. So YouTube is a good source of traffic for me, but it's not the primary source. So if you think about it, and I always relate dating advice to online marketing because there's a lot of similarities. So if you think about dating advice, right? How many different ways can you meet a girl? There's a million. And on this channel, we talk a lot about, cold approaching women. So if I see a girl and wherever I am, I can cold approach her and just meet her that way, right? And that's a skill in itself. But I can also meet women through Tinder, through Bumble, through paid dating services like Match.com. I can get introduced through a friend. I can build up a social circle where girls are naturally I'm surrounded by them all the time. So my point is there's 100 different ways to meet girls. And that said, there's also 100 different ways to get traffic online, right? And so the point is, I'm gonna put my hand, I'm gonna dip my toes into, 5 to 10 different traffic sources, see which ones work for me the best, and then double down on those. So to answer your question, Anthony, my primary source of traffic is, I would say YouTube is one of them, but the main one, the one that's behind the scenes, which is why I don't really pay attention to my YouTube subscriber count, is affiliate promotions via my email list. So like I said, my email list, you would never know about it unless you were actually subscribed to my email list. And every single day I'm sending out an email to a portion of my list. So most days, most of my email list gets it, but on some particular days like today, only a small portion. And that's because, I don't want to dedicate 6 hours a day to writing an email. So I'll write an email every day, and that goes out, and I give advice to that segment of my list, and I promote products to that segment of my list. But an affiliate is basically like, hey, this product is actually great. My audience loves it a lot, especially on my email list. And I reach out to someone like Amarni Kinrees, or She's the Wing Girl, or like a Jason Capital, or someone like that. Someone who has a similar email list to mine with similar guys who are also interested in dating advice. And what I'll do is I'll say, hey, if you want, we could cross promote each other, and I'll give you commission on every single product that one of your people from your email list buys from me, right? So if I say, this book is actually free, 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl. But if I was selling this for $97, I could reach out to a Jason Capital and be like, yo, Jason, this book, a lot of my guys really love it. But if you wanted to email out and send an email to your list about this book, then I'll give you 100% commission on this book, meaning that this is $97. He sends one email, 100 people buy. He gets 100 times $97, 100% commission. So he gets $10,000 instantly, and I get all of those people on my email list. So that's how I grow my following behind the scenes, right? Let me know if that makes sense. I feel like I kind of breezed over it real quick. So basically, it's like a collaboration via email. That's how I grow my influence, grow my YouTube channel. And one of the things that I'm always trying to do with my YouTube channel and even my Instagram is trying to cross promote those, because I have an email list that's behind the scenes that people on YouTube don't even see, right? And those are like, I'm getting traffic sources from everywhere, from YouTube, from other people and who are in the same niche as me, and we want to collaborate via email, right? But I'm also trying to leverage that email list to get them to subscribe to my YouTube channel, to get them to follow me on Instagram, right? And so that's how I grow my Instagram and my YouTube, is by cross-promoting via my email list. So maybe on my email list, if I create a video like I did yesterday, what I'll do is I'll create an email that says, hey, I just made this video. It's called How to Be Fun and Challenging with Women the Right Way. Go here to watch this video. And that'll be an email that I'll send out. And that's how I grow my YouTube channel, using my email list, if that makes sense. So these are the kind of things that I do on a day-to-day basis. And if that makes sense, give me a thumbs up so I know. But Anthony, that's how I get traffic. It is mainly YouTube, but also mainly affiliate promotions and stuff via email. Give them a sweet, exactly, right? And here's the thing, man. It's unfortunate, but it's true. You are judged by the numbers on your YouTube channel. So other people in the dating niche, if I reached out to them, I would if they didn't know who I was, they would immediately judge me by the 4.5K, right? But another thing that I can do, like if they judge you by that and they have like 100K, they're gonna go, oh, this person is below me. Like naturally, that's how they think, right? Even if they don't want to outright state it. But what I've done right, and I don't think a lot of other dating coaches do this, especially if they're trying to grow their business and make money, like this is what I do full time. Like This is just money I had laying around, so I didn't print this out just to make this, like, I didn't go to the bank just so I can make this video. So this is money that I had sitting in my apartment, but this is how I make money. And I don't rely primarily on YouTube. I forgot where I was going with this. But yeah, man, I hope that answers your question. Oh, so what I was gonna say is that what I did right and what a lot of other dating coaches didn't do right is that I networked a lot before I ever had an audience. So if you know who Tim Ferriss is, he wrote a book called The 4-Hour Workweek. He also wrote a book called Tools of Titans. Really good books. He did the same thing. He got to know people, like big name people, before he ever had anything to sell, before he ever put out any content. So just to answer your question, before I ever started making YouTube videos, before I ever put out products like this online, I got to know other heavy hitters in the industry. I became friends with these people. I've known Jason Capital as a friend for close to 4 or 5 years, maybe. And I only started my YouTube channel maybe 3 years ago. So I've known these people and I've networked with them a lot. So that's what I've done right. So the point I'm trying to make is a lot of times if you don't have a lot of the contacts, then you have to grow your YouTube channel, your influence, sort of organically or sort of by reaching out to people and offering them value first, rather than just trying to be like, yo, send out a promotion for me, right? You have to offer them value in some way. For me, it was very easy for me to hit up a friend of mine and be like, yo, would you send out this email to promote my product and I'll give you commission? And they wouldn't look at any of my numbers because I'm friends with them, right? And that's the one thing I've done right, is I became friends with these people way before I ever asked them for anything, or way before I even grew an audience on YouTube. So yeah, I think I saw another question in here. Hey Patrick, outside of YouTube, how do you spend your time? What are some hobbies that help you develop socially, mentally, etc.? So Pogue Jr. I think that's how I say your name. Anyways, so what do I do outside of YouTube? So like I said, I probably work more than most people who have 9-to-5 jobs. Like most people who work in today's society, they wake up at 8, they go to their job, they drive through traffic, they get to their office, and they're in an office building with coworkers, and they work until 5 p.m., right? They get a lunch break, and then on the weekends, they go out and party. For me, I work 7 days a week. So what I'll do is I'll wake up at around 10 a.m. Or whenever I feel like it, honestly, because I set my own schedule. I can work as late as I want. And what I'll do is I'll do my morning routine, which involves my journal right here. And so just so you know, I keep everything in this office, right? I keep my camera, I keep my laptop, I keep my desk, I keep my books, and I keep my journals in here because I want my routine to be as easy as possible. I don't want to have to go here, to go there, to go do there, just to do my daily routine. So first thing I do, I walk to my computer after I grab some water, do my morning routine, which involves like meditation, gratitude. I write down things that I'm grateful for. And then I also write out 10 goals that I want to accomplish in the next 5 years. And these are ambitious, and that's the point. And these goals that I write out every single day in my journal, they kind of keep me on track. And then I also write out 3 things that I want to accomplish today that I think will move the needle forward for myself and for my business. So I do that first thing in the morning. So just for example, today, the 3 things I wanted to do for my business was finish writing a few promotions that I'm actually working on for my email list. That will not only make me money, but also get an awesome product into the hands of people who are willing to invest in themselves. Now, here's one question, and I'm gonna come back to what I do as like hobbies and stuff. But here's my thing that I want to make clear for you guys, especially for you guys who are kind of new to online marketing. I know for myself, when I first found out that people can make money online, I thought it sounded like manipulation. I kind of felt duped. I was like, this guy's giving me a lot of advice. I'm really looking in, I look up to this person. I look up to his advice. His advice has changed my life. But now that I know that he just kind of uses me to make money, I kind of feel duped and I feel empty inside. So I relate to you guys who are watching this and feeling like that. But here's the thing. This is a vital lesson of life. You will not value any of the advice that I give you unless you are personally invested into it. Unless you have some skin in the game you're not going to take action, most likely, right? I'm very self-motivated, so I'm somewhat different, but I didn't really start making a lot of money or even getting a lot of girls until I started investing in coaching, investing in courses, right? Because you can look at all the free advice and you can piece the puzzle, the puzzle pieces together yourself, and it might take a long time. And because it takes a long time to piece it all together yourself, it's harder to get the results that other guys are getting. So I know that as a coach, you're more likely to take action and you're more likely to get results if I make you invest in it, right? So it's a win-win opportunity. Specifically, what did investing look like for you? So here's what it looked like for me. When I was trying to figure out how to get good with girls, so keep in mind, I'm almost 28 years old right now, right? I'm almost 28 years old right now, but I started getting into dating advice when I was about 22-ish. It was like right after I graduated college. And I was getting friend zoned by the girls I really liked. And I was like so invested into these two girls specifically, not at the same time, but they both just crushed me, man. Hey man, Team Capital Writer here. Curious who your mentor is for business. I'll get into all these, Milad. I get a lot of questions, so I'll get into all these. So what did investing look like for me? Investing looked like, okay, I have this one problem. These girls kept friend zoning me. So one of my buddies now, Bobby Rio and Rob Judge, they had a program that they were advertising it was called Unlock Her Legs. And it's like, talks about the scrambler, the mind game that gets girls obsessed with you. I was like, yo, I get friend zoned. This is a product about how to get out of the friend zone. So rather than trying to piece everything together myself, why don't I just, dish over $70 and get this ebook and see what happens? And at the very least, if it doesn't work for me, I can just, refund. That's very easy to do. So I did it. I jumped into it, right? And so that was like the first time I ever invested into myself, was buying a product. Ironically, now and I don't think that one program changed my life, but I think making the $70 investment into an ebook changed my mentality, which changed all my actions moving forward. Because once I bought a $70 ebook, I became the kind of person who invests in himself. It changed my self-identity. So when I bought the course, I took action on it immediately and I got results. And then I hit another sticking point. And I was like, okay, well, this is my sticking point now. How do I solve this? So I paid money. Now I'm investing in myself. I'm taking my own money that I earned doing whatever I needed to do, and I gave it over to someone who had the skills that I wanted. That's what I mean by investing in yourself. So I paid a lot of money to be in the same room as the people who had the results that I wanted. I paid a lot of money to take courses with these people, right? And so that's what I mean by investing in yourself. And I never would have gotten those results until I invested. And I know this because I've tried to do this in online businesses too, right? So Milad Hashimi, you asked who my mentor is for business. I have several, right? I have a lot of friends, like I said earlier in this video. What I've done right is I've networked with the right people even before I had an audience. So I have the unique ability now to like text a buddy of mine and be like, yo, what would you do in this situation? But here's the thing, going back on what I was talking about. A lot of times I'll do that and they'll tell me something, right? And I'll just go, nah. And I sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. But I recently started paying a guy, Milad, I don't know if I want to say his name because he probably doesn't want to be announced outright, right? He doesn't want his name out there. But as soon as I started paying this guy to help me with the ins and outs of my business, and I pay him on a monthly thing. This is a monthly coaching. Like I still pay for coaching too. That's when my business took off. But here's the funny part. A lot of the things that he tells me to do, it's not stuff that I wasn't hearing before, right? It's just now that I'm actually monetarily invested into that advice. Now I'm more likely to take action on it, which means that I'm more likely to actually succeed using it, right? So that just goes to show you the value of like free advice versus paid advice, right? If someone like me, and you've never paid me a single dollar, if I tell you, go approach that girl because, and say this, right? You're gonna go, nah, that might work. And then you may or may not approach her. But if you paid me $1,000, right? And I tell you, go approach that girl and say this, right? you see that advice in a whole other different light. And you're more likely to go do it, not because you can see it working better, but because you just paid me $1,000 to tell you to do that, and you're gonna be pissed off if you don't do it because you just wasted $1,000. So this is the power of investing in yourself. So Milad, I'm sorry, I don't know if I wanna say exactly who is my mentor for business, but I will say that it's a lot of different people. I'm constantly taking different people's advice and seeing how they relate to each other. Some of them I pay, some of them I don't. I'll give you some of the people who I don't pay. I don't pay Russell Brunson for a ton of advice, but I use a lot of his advice. And I have bought his books. So I guess technically I did pay a little bit, right? So I have bought Russell Brunson's books, awesome books, right? Dude, this is an awesome story. I was thinking about this the other day. So literally a year ago this week, I was in San Diego, California. I paid $1,000 to go to this event about online marketing in San Diego. It's called Traffic and Conversion Summit. And I actually just went there last week to this year's event, right? Last year, I paid $1,000 to be there. One of my buddies, my current coach who I pay for advice and copywriting and all this stuff, right? He was like, yo, come into this private room in the back where people who are attending the event don't even know about, right? And so this is just investing in myself to get me this connection so that I could find out about this private room, right? I pay this guy for coaching, and I paid $1,000 to go to this event, and he gets me in private access to this private room where nobody else is, right? I walk into this room, and I am probably 1/100th the net worth of every individual person in that room. There was Ty Lopez was in this room chilling, right? Jay Abraham, like one of the fathers of marketing, just giving a speech, just spewing knowledge, right? Wesley $1 Million Virgin. He's a fitness dude who makes millions of dollars. And if you looked him up on YouTube, Wesley $1 Million Virgin, he's like super motivational. He was in there chilling, right? And Dan Ferrari, one of the top copywriters in the world, he was in there chilling. These people are literally just like eating snacks, drinking water, and just shooting the shit with each other, right? And I got to be in that room. I got to pick their brains. And it wasn't because I was just like kind of just lackadaisically going along. No, I invested in myself, and I took all of their advice and made last year one of the biggest years I've ever had as far as like income wise. And this year is already so much better than last year, right? Because I have a new book and a whole lot of courses that I'm coming out with on my email list over the next month, 2 months, 3 months. This year I've got a lot of big things planned for my email list. So everything I do is just a side like thing that happened to me, that I learned something that I could apply to my business or to my dating advice, but it all started with investing in myself. And even if that original investment doesn't get me the return I want, the connections, the people I meet through that investment, the mentality I have towards taking action on that advice, all that changes just because I put some skin in the game. So that's my rant to try to, I guess, kind of get you guys to see where I'm coming from as far as like what I do with my business and how I take action on advice that I learn. But yeah, man, any other questions that you guys have, I'm happy to answer them for you. I think there was one other topic I wanted to touch on. So just to give you hindsight, so that was last year. All those people were chilling in this room. This year, I go to the same room, right? I go to the same room at the same event last week, right? So I didn't make a video for like a week. It's because I was in San Diego at this event. I go to this private room again, and guess who's in there? One of my good friends, Jason Capital, right? He's in there chilling, leaning back in his chair, right? And he's talking to these like programmers from India, this Asian guy who does advertising for Google or Facebook or something like that, right? And Jason Capital and me are shooting the shit, and he literally goes, yo, dude, he tells me about one thing that he did in his business, right? Just because we're just shooting the shit, like you and I are having a conversation over like, you know, sipping some water and eating snacks, right? This is similar, right? And we're just chilling in this random room with all these snacks and an open bar, and he gives me one trick that he did to double the amount of people who open his emails that he sends out every single day. So if you don't know, he makes money sending out emails every day, right? And so this is just an example, I'm making up numbers. If he has 100,000 people on his email list, right? Which is, you know, his email list is bigger than his YouTube following and vice versa, right? If he has 100,000 people on his email list and he gets 10% of them to open his email every single day, that means every time he promotes a product, only the people who buy from that 10% of people who open the email will ever see that product. The other 90% of people who never open the email in the first place will never even know about the product, okay? So he told me one trick he did to double his open rate, which literally doubled his income. So if he's making $300 a day, and these are random numbers, if he's making $300 a day from 10% of his people opening his emails every single day, if he figures out a trick to turn that 10% into a 20% open rate, then that, his income will essentially have doubled. So rather than $300 a day, he's making $600 a day, right? And I think he's actually making a lot more than that because I made these numbers up. But that just goes to show you like the power of getting into these rooms, the power of investing in yourself, the power of networking. So this is what I did. And literally, just me investing in myself over time got me the connections to be able to get into that private room where people who are making millions of dollars are chilling, right? And they're just spewing advice, just like blah, 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 right? And so that's kind of what I do on a daily basis. So going back to the question of like, what are my hobbies? What do I do on a daily basis that help me develop socially, mentally, etc.? So what I do most of my days, 7 days a week for about 8 to 10 hours, is I brainstorm how I can grow my YouTube channel, grow my email list, or make more money. My mentality, my phrase that I keep repeating myself is, how do I give myself a raise today? How do I give myself a raise every single day, right? And I know that when I make more money, it's not because I'm swindling people out of their money and giving them my products. It's me having a bigger impact, a bigger influence over more people, right? Me making money gives me more resources and time and energy to be able to help more people and help people more effectively. So that's why I try to do this, and that's kind of how I run my online business. So you'll never see me doing anything, shady and like, things that like, you're like, why is he doing that? Just to make money, right? I don't treat people like numbers. I treat people like people because I was there too, right? So what I do every day, I do my morning journaling. Then I write my morning email. Then I eat a little bit and I come in here and I use all my whiteboards, right? I have two whiteboard. I got my calendar, right? My little calendar, and I got this whiteboard, and I got all these books. And what I do is I take the knowledge that I get from these books and I brainstorm, okay, what can I do today or over the next week or the 2 weeks that is going to dramatically improve my business, improve the quality of my YouTube videos, improve the quality of the advice I give, and then I take action on it the rest of the day, right? So right now, I'm actually procrastinating. That's why I started a YouTube live. But today I'm supposed to write a promotion that's coming up in the next week or so for my email list, right? But I wasn't feeling the mood. And so I turned on this and I saw some comments about like how I make money, how I run my business, or am I discouraged that I only have 4,000 subscribers? Absolutely not. So that's why I started making these YouTube videos, or started this YouTube video. But I saw a question come in. Hey man, just curious how you maintain your connections or friendships. I have a tendency to lose contact with a lot of great people I meet. All right, so dude, there's so many books on networking and getting to know people and growing your social circle, et cetera, et cetera. But I have a rule, not a rule, but just like a kind of like a mentality I have, that I don't care if like I'm engaging in deep conversation with these people on a regular basis. I just want my name to run across their mind as often as possible. So I'm friends with a guy named Brandon Carter who has like 1,600,000 subscribers on Facebook. He has 700,000 on YouTube, right? And he's a really big fitness dude and he has amazing abs, right? I'm friends with him. I have his phone number, right? We talk about online marketing sometimes. When I was in New York a few weeks ago, and for those of you who follow me on Instagram, you'd know I was in New York over Thanksgiving, right? I saw him there. I went to his penthouse apartment in New York City, and we talked about online marketing. But I don't text this guy every single day. I don't see this guy or talk to this guy every single day. But every now and then, I'll send him a question via text, or I'll respond to something he uploads on Instagram, like, oh, you like sushi too? That's awesome. Ha ha ha. Right? And even if he doesn't respond, my name still goes across his mind, right? So I'm still relevant in his mind. And he probably doesn't even realize it. But I guarantee if you ask Brandon Carter, do you know who Patrick James is? He'd go, oh yeah, I see him every now and then, right? And it's not because we're talking to each other, we're going to dinner every day, but it's because he sees my name, right? So that's kind of like the advantage of me if I wanted to go back to doing daily YouTube videos, right? The people who subscribe to me will see my name every single day. And even if I don't make a video, like even if they don't watch that video that day, they still see my name. They still see my videos. They still see my YouTube channel. So I'm just trying to get like my name in front of people's faces as often as possible. Even if they don't respond, I don't even take offense to it. But that said, that mentality is not the same with girls. I'm not gonna ping girls even if they're not responding to me. But that's just kind of how I maintain my connection. So, like Jason Capital, right? I'm friends with him, but I haven't seen him. I saw him when he was here in Scottsdale last November or December, and we partied together, right? But I haven't seen him since until last week when I saw him in that private room at this like 4,000 people event, right? So I saw him in that room, we caught up, we shot the shit, and he was spewing like random advice. I'm like, dude, that's dope. I'm gonna apply that to my business, right? So these are just how I keep up. So on a daily basis, I'm not reaching out to my my important contacts every single day, or maybe even not every week, but I make sure that I will ping them on a regular basis. If you've ever seen me talk about texting advice, it's the same concept of a radar text. A radar text that you send a girl is a text that's non-needy. It doesn't require a response, but it's just you giving a good emotion of some sort. I kind of use those on a regular basis with people I want to keep up with. So, Marnie Kinreys, I hit her up a couple months ago about saying, hey, I have a book coming out. I think my list is going to love it, and I think your list would also love it. Would you like to have me on your podcast or something? We could talk about it. I could offer value to you guys, right? And because I'm already friends with her, even though I haven't talked to her for 6 months, she was like, oh my God, yes, I would love that, right? But it's just about reaching out every now and then. I would say every couple of months, maybe once every 2 months at the very minimum, you should run across that person's mind of some sort, okay? So that's kind of how I keep up with my networking and connections and stuff. But I'm also, and I was actually telling this to my buddy, I'm never, if someone's a contact that I want to make or a person that I want to get advice from potentially, I'm never going to come to them trying to ask them questions, right? If someone recognizes me on the street and they go, oh my God, that's Patrick James, right? If they came up to me and started asking me all these questions about dating advice, about business, right? In that sense, a lot of times I'm happy to answer those questions, but if you think about it, that person came up to me just so they could take, right? So if I go up to someone like a Brandon Carter and I just met him for the first time, I'm not gonna be like, yo, Brandon, how do I get a YouTube following like you, right? Even though that's his expertise, I'm not going to ask him questions for my own personal gain. What I'm going to do is offer value. And this is something I actually learned from these people. You'll notice that all these people, they never try to take, they always try to give. So when I met Brandon Carter, even though his following is technically a hell of a lot bigger than mine right now, right? He asked me, how can I help you out, right? And that was him trying to give value rather than take value, right? So I'm always taking that mentality to every person I meet. And so on that note, I'm also never going to treat them like they're different than me. And this is like a framing thing, and this is probably because I've gotten so good at doing this with women, like hot women, that I'm not gonna treat like a 10 at the club like she's above me by any means. And that's kind of how you get them attracted to you, is because you treat them as if they're an equal, and it's like a very subconscious framing thing. But I do the same thing with people that I want to meet with my business, right? So for example, a lot of people wonder, Patrick, how did you become friends with Jason Capital? How did you get him to hire you to coach one of his groups online? And how do you get access to all these circles, right? Well, it's because the first time I met Jason Capital, I didn't ask him a lot of questions. I didn't come to him as like a fan. I came to him as a friend. The first time I talked to him, we were shooting this shit about nightclubs in Scottsdale, Arizona, right? Who do you shoot the shit with about nightclubs in Scottsdale, Arizona? Not a fan and a guru. That's a different frame. I set the frame early on that we are equals, we shoot the shit, we have fun together, right? And every single time I've seen him, it's never like I gotta be high status because I'm Jason Capital and hey, good to meet you, fan, right? It's always just like, hey man, how's it going, right? What have you been up to? It's always like a friendly interaction because we both set the right frames from the very start. So I guess off the top of my head, those are a couple of networking tips that I have. Any other questions that you guys have for now? Oh, going back, I keep getting off topic. All right, so what do I do socially, mentally, or as hobbies? My hobbies, I love to play basketball. I love to eat sushi. I love to drink tequila. I like going to the beach. I like lifting weights. I lift weights about 5 days a week. I used to play basketball 7 days a week, but I haven't done that since for a while. Give me a thumbs up if you like this type of advice too. I forgot to say that. What else do? I read books. I write books, obviously. 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl, howtogetthegirlnow.com. This book is actually free. So like, if you're interested in dating advice, I highly recommend grabbing this book. It's free. I just ordered 500 more because the first 500 went out like that. So I just ordered a few more. So the webpage is still up, howtogetthegirlnow.com. If you want more, get your copy. I'll send it to you anywhere in the world. Just pay shipping and handling. Anyways, so I write books, I read books, I watch YouTube videos that inspire me to keep going and taking action. I work on my business most of the time. Honestly, like it sounds really sucky, but like if I'm not out clubbing or partying with my current girlfriend or like friends that I have, I'm working on my business or making YouTube videos or working out and playing basketball. All right, that's what I do. I'm pretty boring. I'm pretty simple, but you know, I'm focused. I'm focused on offering value to everybody who follows my advice. So, I mean, we've been going for 51 minutes now. I'm just kind of rambling. I feel like I'm talking to, you know, a lot of people who may or may not be interested in this type of stuff, but I'm interested in it. I can talk a lot about it, but if you guys have any questions, like I said, give me a thumbs up. Let me know by giving me a thumbs up that you like this type of stuff, that you might want to hear more about this. And also, just because I know like any comments that come in during the live stream won't show in the comment section once I stop the live stream and now it's just a YouTube video, right? So if you want to know more, awesome, man. If you want to know more about this kind of stuff, let me know by commenting after the live stream ends. That way I can see it tomorrow when I go back and look at the comments. And also, give me a thumbs up to let me know you like this stuff. And let me know what you think about my idea of starting a second YouTube channel. It's going to be complimentary, and it's going to be more vlog style, and it's going to be me vlogging me every single day, just so that you guys can see the behind the scenes of raw dating advice. What do I do to make money with my email list? What do I do as far as like my coaching clients? Because several days a week I have to schedule in these coaching calls that I have. Last week when I was in San Diego, I went there and I stayed with a client of mine and we went out for an entire weekend right before I went to this event that I was telling you about, right? So I would start vlogging this stuff so that you guys can see what I'm doing to grow my business and what I'm doing behind the scenes of raw dating advice. Let me know in the comment section after I get done with this live stream and by giving me a thumbs up if you would be interested in seeing me do something like that. All right, so on that note, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get back to work on the writing that I was doing before I hit the live stream button. And hope this was helpful to you guys. Hope this cleared up a lot of things. Hope that answered a lot of questions about how I make money. If I'm really discouraged about only having 4,000 subscribers, answer, I'm not. And awesome, man. Patrick James, Raw Life Advice. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Appreciate you talking so much for not many people. Dude, but Frizzo, this is the awesome thing about live streams, right? I put a live stream up at right now it's 5:16 where I'm at, right? PM. It's not necessarily the best time to put up a YouTube video. This is another thing. You got to think about what time are people online for me to post a YouTube video so that more people will see it right when it comes out and click, right? That's another thing I think about. So technically, right now I'm talking to 8 people, right? And who knows how many people have come in and then left. Right now, currently 8 are on the live stream. But over the next 3 hours or 3 days, this is gonna get 500 views, 1,000 views, and that's 1,000 people that I just shared this content with, right? And even of those 1,000, they might go and turn around and tell another person, word of mouth, that doesn't show up as a number on a screen and be like, yo, I learned this, this, and this from Patrick James. And then that person 3 days later is gonna come back to my YouTube channel, watch my other videos. So you can't even measure by the numbers. You can't measure the impact that you're having. It's a good gauge, but it's not the full extent of it. So I don't look at the number during the live stream. I look at the numbers a week later and be like, okay, how can I double that the next time? Okay. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So yeah, man, thank you for being grateful for this kind of stuff. I love talking about this kind of stuff. And yeah, man, I'm going to get out of here. Peace out.